In continuation of our study, mathematics, we'll be looking at the application of Pythagoras theorem this morning. And what we have on the board here is a right angle triangle. How do we know it's right angle? Because side AC is perpendicular to side CB. And of course, they have the sides already labeled correspondingly with the angles in which they are opposite to. Now, Pythagoras theorem, one of the many theorems we have in mathematics, is what we'll be using to solve these questions. Of course, we must identify the fact that A and B are adjacent to each other. Okay, while the longest side of the triangle is the hypotenuse C. Okay, now the theorem says that the sum of the square of the two adjacent sides is equals to the square root. The square of the hypotenuse. Now, if we have this, we know that using algebra we can find values for either of A or B or even C, as the case may be. Now, let's look at the real question scenario. If you have side AC to be 4 and then you have side BC to be 3, then we can find the hypotenuse, which using the Pythagoras theorem now, we're going to have 4 square plus 3 square is going to give us x squared. Now, the square of 4 is 16, and the square of 3 is 9, and that gives us x squared. The sum of these all together is 25. Now, to find the value for x, we just find the square root of both sides. Now, square root of 25 and square root of x squared will give us what? The square root sign, we cut out this, and then the square root of 25 we know is 5. So the value there is x, using Pythagoras theorem. In another scenario, we will be given a question where one of the sides is two of the sides are given again, but this time around you are asked to find one of the adjacent sides. Now, going by the Pythagoras theorem, we know that the sum of the square of the adjacent side is going to give us the square of the hypotenuse. In this case, our hypotenuse is 13, and one of the sides, let's say B, is 5, while we're looking for A. So we can solve this by applying this Pythagoras theorem, such that we have A squared plus B squared is equals to C squared. Substituting now for the values, we don't know what A is, so we know B to be 5 squared and then 13 for C. Now, using your knowledge of algebra, we know that we can transfer the square of 5 to the other side, okay, and then we have A squared to be equals to 169 minus 25, which gives us 144. Now, finding the square root of both sides now, in order to get the value for A, using our knowledge of algebra, we have the square root of 144 to be equals to 12, and then our A is 12 units. Now, with this, I believe that if you do more practice on your own, application of this knowledge of Pythagoras theorem won't be a problem. Join us same time next time as we continue our series of study of simple sums in mathematics, courtesy Citadel-i-projects.